Oh, we make movies, Film Geeks podcast, episode number 79.
Welcome to the We Make Movies podcast, making the world a better place, one film at a time. And now, here are your hosts, otherwise known as the director, the actress, and who the hell is that guy? Chad, Michelle, and Garrett.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We Make Movies, Film Geeks podcast. Podcast is all about how to get your movie made, how to get it seen by other people, and how to get it awesome. My air drumming during the intro is pretty half-hearted now. It's like a porn star who's been going a few too many years. It's just like, okay,
Wow.
I'm your host, Garrett Robinson. With me, as always, faithful co-host Chad Gugahiko and Michelle Lucadoo. We are all independent filmmakers and part of the We Make Movies filmmaking community in Los Angeles. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We are two wild and crazy guys and a girl.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. I have been spending all day beating my head against my website and trying to make a freaking page work, and it's still not working. But that's fine. I hope you guys are well.
Well, it should be a nice little respite, right?
Yeah, it's a nice little rest.
Now you can beat your head against us.
That's
There's a dirty joke in
there
there
is a
somewhere.
dirty joke in there somewhere. I'm trying to figure it out. We should move quickly onward
Not that
into the
deep.
topics. But if you're watching this live, feel free to comment on the YouTube channel or tweet us at #WeMakeMovies, and we will respond live. Chad, lead us
Yes.
off with something.
I will, but let me add to what you just said, just slightly, in case you're watching this for the first time, and you are watching this live. Definitely go to the YouTube channel, because if you comment there, we can actually show your comment and say that it was from you. So just do that. So very, very, very interesting things happening out in the world.
What kind of things?
Well, the Security and Exchange Commission released a 453-page document a couple weeks ago that finally delivered on the 4-year-old Jobs Act from 2011 that loosened smaller sum investment rules. And I've been talking about this off and on since we launched this show just over 2 years ago, and it was already late back then. I haven't had time to parse through the entire document yet, but plenty of people apparently have. And in fact, there are already several websites dedicated to helping people interested in equity crowdfunding, which is what this is being called nowadays. And that's not shocking, because it has been 4 years in the making. But what was that wait all about? The funny thing is that the Jobs Act, and by the way, JOBS in JOB stands for Jumpstart Our Business Startups. Anyway, the Jobs Act came with a December 2012 deadline for the SEC to finish parsing the rules, but whatever. 2.5 years later. Just this past November, however, the New York Times posted an article, an editorial rather, about how the delay was actually helping this portion of the bill because, amongst other reasons, it was letting a lot of the states kind of create some of their own rules and letting them see what worked and what didn't and whatnot, because it's an extremely tricky proposition. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, this is basically where in 2011 Congress created a rule that said that the Security and Exchange Commission could basically loosen, basically make it really easy for Kickstarter, for instance, to not just be about people giving you money, but for it to also be a way for people to buy equity in whatever you are. You know what I mean? Become investors in your product. Right now, that kind of thing has been extremely sort of difficult for people who for smaller money things, because the smaller money things have to adhere to a lot of the same rules that the bigger money investments, and which is expensive. It takes a long time for me to get into it, but the short version of the story is that that's basically what's now possible, is that these things like Kickstarter are now going to be able to be, you're going to get shares and stuff. And that's what all these really cool and interesting new websites are popping up. Crowdfunder is one. Equity Net, I think, is another. Anyway, check them out. Anyway, a lot of the current SEC rules, they actually came about because people were getting ripped off. And many of them are supposed to, these rules are supposed to protect investors from fraud, and that's obviously a good thing. But what they ended up doing is raising the bar for investors to such a high level that regular people just can't get involved. And that's what this portion of the Jobs Act is supposed to correct. And though I was eager for this to get going, considering everything that I now know about how tricky and messy this can be, I'm actually not so disappointed that it took so long, assuming, of course, that these new rules actually work. You can guarantee that there are going to be people that are going to be losing money from the flood of these smaller money investments that are basically about to start to pour in. I mean, but that's the nature of investing. I mean, there's always a chance you're going to lose, but there's also going to be winners too. And since the players in this new game, are going to be coming from
shit.
Sorry, don't know what that was.
Because an earthquake. It's Los Angeles. Anyway, so since the players in this new game are going to be coming from all levels of the economics spectrum, instead of just the top like it is right now, things are going to get really, really interesting. Because as you know, you can't play if you don't win. And now little people like you and me, we can play too. So this is why this is important for us filmmakers. Now we don't just have to ask people for money to get like a t-shirt or something to help us make our film. Now, with relative ease, these websites are going to start to pop up where we're going to be able to basically give back. Whenever our projects make money, we're going to be able to buy equity. Like, just take this, for instance, let's say that you wanted to buy a bit of Exploding Kittens, and you got in really early or whatever. The Exploding Kittens, I don't know if you don't know what I'm talking about. Exploding Kittens, the card game that the oatmeal, it just blew up on Kickstarter. If the people who jumped in on that early enough, they could be making money now. You know what I mean? Off of the success of that project. And that's what's really, really interesting. So I talked at length on this about a year ago. I can't remember when I was talking about when I was talking about sort of these economic ecosystems that are going to start to pop up. Well, now they really are, now that this bill is passed. And it's going to get really interesting. I don't know what it's going to mean specifically for We Make Movies, but I'm excited to start to, I mean, Patreon's doing well for us right now. Let's see what we can, maybe I'll start checking out Crowdfunder. I don't know. It's really, really interesting, and I can't believe that it actually finally happened. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes from here.
That's pretty exciting.
That's awesome.
I feel
almost
like
almost as exciting as the earthquake that just happened.
Let's all three of us. Let's talk at the same time.
Absolutely,
ready?
we should all start at the same time.
I'm going to talk. Right, you guys aren't talking with me.
Yeah. No, that is super exciting. I do feel like we've been talking about that for years, but we haven't even actually been doing the podcast for years. Technically, we've been doing it for more than a year. But
two years ago, April, we started.
Isn't that like dog years though? Doesn't
Yeah.
each year count as like 7?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, right.
That's crazy. It's been 2 years.
Can you believe that?
Oh my god.
Crazy. Yeah,
we were
crazy.
so young back then.
Young and silly, naive. Young and naive.
Michelle, tell us what.
Yeah, well, in other news, like not even kidding around, that really
Even
was just
90% of the people
I believe an earthquake. So
you can't hear us when we're talking, can you? You don't know when to talk.
Me?
Because you're talking over us constantly.
Maybe there's just a delay.
Maybe it's a lag.
Maybe.
I don't know.
A delay.
Okay, listen, today is like the best day in the world because Game of Thrones starts back, season 5. I'm very excited. Incidentally, did you hear that the first 4 episodes of Game of Thrones were leaked this morning?
I did.
Whoa.
I did hear about that. I refused to watch them.
I know. But like almost like within the first hour, I think 50,000 people downloaded it. It was like all this whole thing, terrifying. Like about the people, someone's like getting fired at HBO like as we speak.
For sure.
Or like 4 or 5 people, I'm sure. Anyway, so but what I didn't know is that George R.R. Martin is apparently developing a new show, a new series with HBO. It's called Captain Cosmos, and it's about a science fiction TV writer in the 1940s, which doesn't sound as exciting as dragons and people getting their heads cut off, but I don't know, whatever, I'm down. But the pitch for the show was, here it is. At the dawn of the age of TV in 1949, a visionary young writer creates a science fiction series that tells stories no one else will dare to tell. Okay. I mean, I'm kind of like, okay, George R. R. Martin. I mean, like, cool. Do we see some titties? Like, do people die? I don't know.
It's HBO. Of course we're going to see titties. Of course we're going to see titties.
Is it going to be on HBO as well? Did you say that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be HBO.
That.
He's developing it with HBO.
Cool.
So yeah, I don't know. It sounds exciting. I watch it, but it just like I'm like, I don't know. Is that your genre, George?
I guess he thinks it's his genre.
Create another
He can do whatever, man. I mean, I don't think his show. Super quick side note. Shout out to Ms. Astro Stone. Thank you for howdy.
What's up, Astro Stone?
What up? What up? Thanks for joining us. And thanks for throwing up a comment. I think Martin transcends genre. You know what I mean? I mean, I've read the Game of Thrones books. I'm in the middle of reading it for the fourth time right now. So I think he transcends. He can do whatever he wants. That's my point of view.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
yeah, he definitely can do whatever he wants for sure. You know, I mean, skill and success will kind of do that to you. It's like if Steven Spielberg next month. Well, I mean, he actually has done lots of kids shows, but I don't know if he was like. When you're that kind of person, it's just like, I'm going to do blah, blah thing, and like a certain percentage of us are just going to be like, cool, we'll be there, you know?
Yeah, right.
Well, I wonder, though, because I wonder, screenplay-wise, I mean, obviously he wrote the Game of Thrones books first, right? Or what is it? Ice and Fire? The name of
Song of Ice and Fire is what, yeah, that's what the Game of Thrones books are called, yeah.
Get it right, Michelle.
Yeah, I haven't read them, but I wonder if that's going to make a difference since he has not. This is not based on a book he's written. It's like him writing a screenplay. So I don't know.
he wrote for TV years before he wrote for Game of Thrones.
Right.
Years before he wrote Game of Thrones.
Novels, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Should be fun.
We'll see.
As long as there's titties.
HBO does not fail much. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of HBO.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
So as you know, HBO Now launched recently. I actually signed up. I canceled my cable plan, in which I had a little. It's a long story, but if you've been watching, you see what the shenanigans that I pulled that got me HBO Go. But now that I can get HBO Now. I got it. Canceled my HBO Go. It was kind of funny because I ended up making a deal in which I just took one cable box out of my closet drawer and swapped it for a different cable box, which again went straight back into the drawer. So I've only so far only watched like one show since being on HBO Go like 2 days ago, but it doesn't really seem any different than HBO. Did I say now Go or now? Anyway, I meant now.
I'm completely lost now.
I just watched.
Or am I completely lost? Go.
Oh, goodness. I've only watched one movie on HBO Now since canceling HBO Go, but it's not a whole lot different than HBO Go. I mean, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass to sign up for it because I have only Android devices. All my computers are Mac, but all my devices are Android. So you can't actually sign up unless you have an iOS device. But once you've signed up, you can sign in via any browser. How they're going to keep that off PC, I have no idea. That's the claim, but I somehow doubt it. If anybody out there has a PC and you want to kind of test it, let me know. Message me, chad@wemakemovies.org, and I will temporarily give you my code so you can test it out and tell me how it goes. Anyway, I want to know. I want to know if you can actually do it from a PC. So yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's pretty. You know, you get it's kind of cool actually because you get the first 30 days for free because that's what they're doing with HBO Now. And then also when I called my cable company to get rid of HBO Go, they like always try to negotiate something because they're afraid they're going to lose you. So I ended up getting $15 off my bill, which was exactly what it had jumped up from when I got HBO Go. But they gave me higher internet speeds, like substantially more, like 50% higher, faster downloads. And same price I was paying before, which is kind of cool. And that leads me to a quick little side note. I don't know if you know this, but if you don't, you should, that pretty much everybody who gives you like cellular service or internet service or anything like that, you can renegotiate with them all the time. Particularly those from whom you buy stuff from on a regular basis. Like I'm on T-Mobile. I've been on T-Mobile for 12 years, and I'm really loyal to them because I love their customer service. But just this past month, because I was making, I got the new 6 Edge and whatnot, I've renegotiated our deal twice, and it's gone down like first by $60 and then by another. So it's overall, I got my bill down by $75 just over the past 2 months. And what's weird about some of these negotiations, like for instance, my cable company, they have to have a TV plan in my internet plan, even though they know I don't have a TV in my house. So I stick a cable box into my closet drawer. And this deal with T-Mobile now, we have on our family plan, we've got like 4 phones now, and one of them we don't have a phone. It's just cheaper with an extra phone for some reason, even if you have no phone. So anyway, that's something you. Oh, hey, by the way. There really was an earthquake. Looks like. Is that mentioning an earthquake?
No, it was like serious. I mean, you guys saw it.
I didn't feel it here.
I didn't feel nothing. I just heard things falling over in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, we basically said this like weeks and weeks ago. We were like, HBO is going to put out HBO Now on the day or like a couple days.
Yes, right.
Game of Thrones coming out.
Exactly.
Hey, everybody, the show's coming back. The show's coming back, and everybody's just like, and say, hey, you can get HBO Now. And they have a free trial as well.
That was a flawless Game of Thrones junkie impersonation.
That was the fans. I know, because that's been me all day. Just sitting there hitting my phone refresh button.
I've maybe planned my day around what I'm going to be doing when.
When does it actually go live? I don't even know. 5 p.m.
Oh.
You're asking the wrong person.
Good question. I don't know.
I think if it goes live at 5 p.m., then we're gonna wrap up the show.
All
right, everybody, it's been fun. Thank you for coming into the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast.
I don't know. I'm a book reader.
I just read books, guys.
I don't watch anything on TV. Yeah.
See, we are all so weird in our own little ways. I hate the Lego Movie. Michelle hates all animated films, and Chad hates the Game of Thrones television show. Unquestionably, the most popular television show right now.
I don't hate it. Don't. That's
no. And Michelle doesn't hate all animated movies. She said some were good. They're just not her thing. I, however, want to be clear. I do actively hate the Lego Movie. I hate it.
We went over this last week. We went over the fact that you have no taste last week. Yes.
There's titties and dragons. I don't understand. I mean.
The book in my head is so much better than the show. It's just so good. And it lost me in the first season. They didn't have the acting talent that they have now. And thankfully they got. I mean, Dinklage is fantastic, and Ned Stark. His name is not coming to me right now. Yeah, fantastic, but nobody else. And
you
Jamie
remember
Lannister,
Boromir's name, Chad. You don't forget Boromir.
Wrong series. Anyway,
yeah, but he dies.
The Lannisters were the Lannisters. The casting of the Lannisters is just the biggest disappointment to me, and it's hard for me to watch it and not.
Whoa! Wait, what?
Yeah, Jamie Lannister needs to be about a gazillion times more charming and less sad face. He's sad facey to me, and so is his sister.
Cersei?
Wait, but
the actress who plays Cersei should have played Caitlyn, and the actress. No. I'm sorry, the actress who played Caitlyn is a little old for that role.
That I'll agree with you on that one. I'll agree with you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Have you read the books?
No.
Yeah, see, there you go. So Chad and I, this is kind of our discussion.
They need to be breathtakingly gorgeous, wicked young. They're wicked young and wicked evil. And that's how they should have been. And I never got over it. I never was able to get over it.
Yeah.
Whatever, it is what it is. There were some other cast. I'm not going to get into it, but...
What if she fixed her teeth?
Send your hate mail to chad@wemakemovies.org.
If Cersei had better teeth, but I will let you know that I agree with you on the book versus film situation, and yes, I felt that way the first time that I realized that was Misery. It made me so sad. The book
Misery?
was 17 times better than the film.
Exactly
so
17.
good.
Hold on. Exactly 17 times better, though.
There is a metric. There is. What do they call
There
that?
is.
Lookadoos. It was 17 lookadoos
Fantastic.
when the
Can
movie
I
had
move-
just one lookadoo.
Can I move on?
No.
Yes.
We're
No.
talking Game of Thrones the whole time.
All
We're
right.
gonna miss it. We're gonna miss Game of Thrones.
Okay, go.
YouTube is going to very shortly be offering a paid subscription option, which I am super excited about.
What
This
do
is
you
like
mean?
a big.
I thought they did already.
No. No. This is you can pay YouTube a fee $5 or $10 a month and never see an ad again. In other words, yeah, the viewer is going to pay YouTube a price. Now they might be 10. I think they should do 5. That's just me. Like I have no idea. They know their business and their money better than I ever could. But you will be able to pay YouTube a certain monthly fee to never see advertisements.
Whoa.
And that will for people who do that, their views will be divided up. The money that they pay will be divided up amongst all the videos that they view. So if they're paying $10 a month and they're watching 1,000 videos, then each of those videos is going to get a penny.
That's interesting.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
like IndieFlix's model. That's
Yeah,
really interesting.
Yeah, so this is the new thing. Now, it's going to be optional, obviously. You can still go and watch YouTube for free, but you will see ads. So the interesting thing is that if you're the type of person who hates ads and you have the disposable income, then great. If you're the type of person who hates ads, has the disposable income, and uses ad block, your life is about to get interesting, because the number one justification I hear for people using AdBlock is like, well, of course I want to support my favorite creators. I love them. I love their videos and everything, but YouTube's ads, they're so terrible and da-da-da-da-da, and if there was an option, you know, I would totally... I hear that every single time somebody tells me that they use AdBlock. So now it's just going to be like, oh, so are you a subscriber? Oh, no, I'm still on ad block. Oh, really? Yeah, why? I just don't want to pay for it at all. I don't care. So that's going to be interesting. I think that creators are going to earn more money per view.
I bet you're right.
On advertising.
Yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah.
I can't... It depends on how much YouTube charges, and it depends on what their average viewer watches. Like the average viewer who will sign up for this, because you have to understand that mostly it's going to be power consumers. But even power consumers, like I consider myself a power consumer. I watch a shit ton of YouTube. I don't think I watch 10 videos a day. You know, I watch a lot of long videos. And no, I watch a lot of short videos and a few long ones, but I probably only watch like 5 to 8 videos a day, I think. And that adds up to about 10 videos a day is only 300 views over the course of a month. So if you're paying $10, then that is what, like 3 cents per view per.
I mean, times millions of viewers.
Right.
But
you could
is YouTube keeping a cut of it, or is it going?
Yeah,
to
we can assume they're going to do something like 50% or whatever. But still, this could be pretty cool.
Yeah, this could be really interesting. I might sign up just to support my people, and I'm
definitely going
don't watch YouTube much at all. I'll be honest. I go there for you know, how to figure something out.
He goes there when he sees that I've made a vlog about Game of Thrones, so he can be. Yeah.
I mean, it's a win-win situation because you're A, supporting your people, and you're B, you don't have ads anymore. So yeah.
Pretty sweet ass. So on a related note, I have
wait. Before you move on, I want to say one quick thing, because I know you're going to talk about the Hank Green thing, but what is interesting is that the move that YouTube is making here is it's keeping them relevant, and it's smart because they've drawn the line in the sand that they're not going to renegotiate with anybody on the percentages that they give. Right. But this could be the kind of thing that will keep them relevant. I mean, anyway, they're already a juggernaut. Everybody knows that they're the place to get discovered. But for the people who are already discovered, they're going to start moving off. I mean, they really are. They're going to start moving off of YouTube pretty soon if YouTube doesn't do something. And this might be the thing that helps keep people.
Well, that, or they might stay on YouTube but do something else like Hank Green wrote a really, really excellent article this week that I highly, highly recommend you go check out. And it was basically on
I'd called dibs, by the way, on talking about this, but then gave it to Garrett because I felt it was more appropriate for him to do it. So
as
anyway,
a guy who makes YouTube videos every single day,
it
makes sense.
Nobody ever calls dibs on what I talk about.
Well, I mean, I would have talked about Game of Thrones, but when I logged in, you were already talking about it. But I didn't want to call, So his article was basically about the concept of CPM, which actually stands for cost per mille, the Latin word for thousand, for some fucking reason. We're using that acronym in 2015 and for the last 8 years. But basically, this is how many dollars you earn per 1,000 views. And for YouTube, per 1,000 views, you earn about $2. That is the broad across the entire YouTube average. Some people earn a little more, some people earn a little less. According to Hank, if the Vlogbrothers and all their associated channels, SciShow, Crash Course, Brain Scoop, everything else, had been earning television-level amounts of advertising income for the advertisements that their viewers sat there and watched before all of their videos, the Vlogbrothers would have generated about $100 million over the last 8 years. They actually generated about $2 million. So that's interesting. So online video advertising has already proven itself to be very effective, mostly because it's so targetable. If you just fling money at it, it's not more effective than television advertising, but you can aim ads at your audience that you want. But despite that, it has also always cost much less than television advertising for some strange reason. And what that has ended up meaning is that on average, YouTube creators earn about $2 for every 1,000 views, what's called $2 CPM. But just imagine, if you will, a world where every YouTube video earned $15 per view. In other words, for every 1,000 views, you earn $15,000. One, I'd be able to retire right now. But like, that's a ridiculous idea, right?
You'd have to keep doing what you're doing. So is that retiring?
No, but for over the last year, like I could retire right now. Like I've earned over the views I've acquired over the last year, I would have enough money right now to retire. You know.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
If I was earning 15,000, so
you'd call it.
But this is.
You did make quite a claim. I'm going to check it out.
Okay, go ahead. I would have about $1.5 million, which would be.
You can't retire on $1.5 million.
I don't know what your living costs are. My living costs are ridiculously low, which is the only.
I'm going to live to 100.
Okay, cool.
So.
Anyways, can we? If you invest $1.5 million well and don't go like bananas, going like nuts with your expenditures, you can make that shit last. The average American only earns $2.5 million over the course of their entire lifetime. So okay, good. But this whole $15,000 CPM is ridiculous, right? It's complete fantasy. It would never happen, except that it happens every single day at movie theaters. Every single view generates $15. So that's $15,000 CPM right there. Now, obviously, a movie is probably more valuable to the viewer than a music video is. But is it 7,500 times more valuable? I don't think that would be true, and Hank said that he doesn't think it would be true. Yet the $2 CPM has held back online video content, and it keeps it from being as good as it could be. Imagine if we lived in a world not with a movie, movie theater level of CPM, but if we just had $100 CPM. For every 1,000 views you got, you were paid $100. Anybody who has a YouTube, like, dude, if I was earning that kind of money, I would be doing much better videos. I'd be like going out with my family and doing cool, crazy things. Like not every day, but like a couple of times a month, because I would be earning enough from YouTube to justify that. It would be cool, and maybe we could actually start putting out like real online content. And what Hank posited in his article is that one way that this could happen is if people just pay for the content. Not all of the people and not a lot of money, but some of the people. And by just asking their audience to pay them, the ones that elect to pay for the content make the content free for everybody else, and they make it better for everyone, including themselves. And again, that sounds like in traditional media terms, when you're thinking as a filmmaker, you're thinking as like anything, that just sounds ridiculous. Like, how can you make a career work without a huge audience to back you up? And like, could you, as like a little nothing online creator, actually expect to make even $2 CPM if you were just asking, if you were doing no advertisement, no nothing, if you literally just asked your audience to pay if they can? Well, I have a news flash, which is that I am currently earning $150 a month on Patreon, and I'm only getting about 7,000 views a month on YouTube. That's $21 CPM. That's 10 times better than the YouTube general average. And after Hank wrote his article, and I was sort of like, holy shit, this is kind of awesome, I have like now plans that like I think could majorly increase that. So the point is that you don't need a gigantic audience to make the just ask method of payment work for you. When people think that, and we've even said that on this show, it's like, well, you can't succeed at Kickstarter without like a huge audience, or I think we've actually phrased it, if you have a huge audience, it's much easier to succeed and do really well on Kickstarter. But you don't have to be the oatmeal card game making $8 million or the Pebble watch making $12 billion or whatever the fuck. Like, that's not surviving. That's unbelievable affluence and abundance. And, of course, that's going into delivery and everything else. You could, if you just ask your audience, get to a point where your audience is supporting you a lot faster by just asking than by the advertising model. Because like $2 per every 1,000 views sucks. That just fucking sucks. And if you can find just 1,000 people who are willing to give you a couple bucks a month or $2 or $3 a month because they really like you as a YouTuber and whatever, you could fucking make it, dude. Like, that could be your whole thing, and you only need an audience of a few thousand people, as opposed to the millions of people that the Vlogbrothers and Hannah Hart and Tyler Oakley have. So, I think it's pretty fucking awesome.
Well,
I think it's
the key is
I think more people should do it.
The key is expectations. I mean, what you're talking about in a nutshell is the same. It's the same long tail, 1,000 true fans thing. You know what I mean? It's just
exactly.
The tools that are popping up and the ways that people are using these tools are making it more and more possible for these, like, you know, what I call the sort of artistic economic ecosystems, you know.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. I mean, the equity crowdfunding thing is going to be really interesting.
That's going to be huge on features.
Yeah. Well, not just features, but series too. I mean,
yeah, for sure. I don't think it's going to be huge on like YouTube channels, and that's kind of what I'm thinking of is people who YouTube is their thing, online video is their thing, as opposed to narrative content, like more not really documentary type stuff. Like here's just an example of what I'm going to do. I'm going to change like my operating basis on Patreon, and I'm going to say, listen, guys, I want this to be more of a thing. I want this to be something that we all enjoy doing together and everything like that. And so anybody who puts $1 into my Patreon, I'm going to start vlogging every single day, not just weekdays, but the weekend videos are only for patrons. And they're for every level of patron. So $1 a month, you get 8 extra videos per month. But that's just like one thing where it's like, if you're part of that tiny percentage of people who are willing to pay to make it free for everybody else, like, why wouldn't you were helping me make my YouTube channel better already. Like, when you approach it from the mindset Hank talks about in the article, but everything seems like it's puppies and fucking rainbows. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, and then you have to think about, but you have to think about saturation too. I mean, like how many, as a YouTube viewer, how many people bloggers like are you willing to give money to?
Right, that's
5,
true,
10?
but you are always, almost every single person that I know on YouTube has several really big channels that they follow, and then like 5 or 10 really small ones. And I would support one of the small ones way before I'd support one of the big ones.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? It's the whole niche thing. Like once you know that Hank Green is like he's doing fine, I don't feel the need to contribute to his Patreon. Not that he has one, but if somebody else that I know, like this YouTuber I know called The One Janitor, he has a Patreon, and he's small. He's got like, he's a lot bigger than I am, but he's much, much, much smaller than the Vlogbrothers or anybody else. So you'd support him. And he doesn't need all of his audience to support him. He just needs a tiny percentage of them to support him, and boom, he can keep doing his thing. You know?
I mean, the proof that this kind of thing can work is what we did with Patreon. We don't have a huge number of supporters, but we have enough to support ourselves, and little by little, every single month, it grows a little bit more. And and that's I mean, we didn't know if it was going to work until we launched it, and the fact that it was more successful than we expected it to be is pretty awesome, you know. And as soon as we start making our own content, it could start to snowball. So I agree. I think it could work. The key is do you have an audience? Do you have a means of interacting with that audience? Do you have a way? Anyway, so that's that's interesting. So
I think it's super cool. And Hank is always like so on the fucking bleeding edge of all this stuff.
He's like the one creating it most times. You know what I mean? I mean, he's the one who created VidCon, right? Or was it his brother? I don't know.
No, it was him. And he also created Subbable, and very shortly after that, Patreon was like, Subbable had a thing where like they had to approve you, and you had to be doing educational content. And Patreon was like Kickstarter. It was like, start whatever the fuck you want. Come on in, bitches. We got 5%. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we should move on. We're running a little long. It is good. It's worthy, but
Game of Thrones probably just started.
Oh my god. Okay. So apparently we're talking about Daredevil. Yeah.
No, you wanted to talk about your hat, Michelle.
You were going to talk about your hat.
We're going to talk about my hat? Okay.
You don't have to.
We're talking about my hat.
Yep, your hat.
This is my hat.
I'm not personally very attached to your hat.
I'm not attached to the hat. So.
Oh, but I thought we were going to skip it. I messaged you, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the Paul Walker thing, but...
No, we're going to talk about Paul Walker. Okay. We're going to talk about my hat for a hot second. So I just went to the performance, the Parents Weekend performance at the Relativity School, which I have the privilege and honor of teaching at. But I wanted to talk about it a little bit because it is the first university, accredited university, that is run by a major film studio. And it is so freaking cool. The entire school is on the lot at LA Center Studios. So literally, like, Patrick, what is his name? The Star Wars, not Star Wars. Anyway,
Star Trek,
like
Patrick Stewart?
Star Trek, Patrick Stewart, thank you.
God
I was like, Patrick Wilson, no, sorry. Anyway, so Patrick Stewart's like shooting literally outside my window, like some new film that's like crazy. You know, they're shooting Mad Men next door. It's amazing. And these kids, they bring in all of these screenwriters and directors and filmmakers and writers. It's just, and they are part of a 4-year university, but it's completely integrated with Relativity Media. So they're working with all of the films that they're currently producing. They're working with all of the directors, all of the writers, it's a really, really great idea. Go gadget. But I wonder though, I mean, as a film studio, like, because everything these kids create in these 4 years officially is property of Relativity Media, right? So all of these ideas, all of these screenplays, all of these fabulous, like, seedlings of things are kind of Relativity, they're now Relativity property. Anyway, I was thinking about that today. I'm like,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I know. Well, but
They're paying to go there.
Yeah. Like a lot. Like, I mean, a lot. Like a lot. I believe it's like
seem right.
55 grand a year. Yeah.
It seems like a ripoff.
Well, but it's not, which is cool. Like,
welcome to American College.
No, not the money. I'm talking the fact that they, on top of that, they own what the idea. Like that's. But
that's the way. But that is the way that most film schools work. That's the way. You know.
Thank God I didn't go to film school.
That's the way. All of these, even graduate programs at film schools, they.
Yeah, I know USC. But they're also giving you money too. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, obviously,
right. They're funding. Like, I mean. You should walk into our equipment room. It's ridiculous. There are, there's just everything you could ever want to shoot anything, and you can just walk in and check it out. Like, do you want a red? Sure.
This is hilarious to me because I mean, you could spending a lot less money than going to one of you. And I know you teach there, and I know you got some loyalty to it.
That's
but
great.
You can come to We Make Movies and get together a team to make a movie, and you just spend what it costs to make the movie. You know what I mean? And it's very inexpensive. I mean, and you could make like 4 movies or go to Relativity for 1 year. You know what I mean? It's
true.
It's
true.
insane.
I mean, I absolutely, honestly support getting an undergraduate degree of some sort, and I do think it's a really cool idea. And it's a great place. It's a great place for collaboration, for making crazy connections. But I wonder, like, it's a brand new school, so it just started in September.
And you get do you get a bachelor's?
Yeah, you get a bachelor's degree. So it's an accredited university through the USSC. So yeah, but it's interesting, and it's weird too, because you go to work, and you go to school, and sorry guys, you can't walk through the Sky Bridge. Amy Adams is up there, and you're like, oh, okay. And then you like take the elevator, which is great for the actors because I think the acting majors get used to being on a film set. Like, they live their lives on a film set.
They don't freak out so much, basically.
Nobody freaks out at all. That's how they roll.
That's cool.
Anyway, so I think it's great. I think it's amazing. But I'm like, good job, Relativity. Nice work.
Raking it in, you vultures.
Right? Anyway.
So that was more than a hot minute, but
sorry.
No, it's partly my fault too.
All right.
I don't know if we'll have a whole.
I have something very important to talk about.
Very, very important.
Very important.
I took Friday off from work because
I don't work, so I had Friday.
I took Friday off from work to do 2 things: to go get my new Galaxy 6 Edge phone.
To get his bikini wax.
The one that you can't put HBO Now on because it's not.
You can't put HBO Now on a bikini wax. How would that even, Michelle? I don't even know how that would work.
Did I get a bikini wax? I got a bikini
and to watch Daredevil on Netflix. I ended up watching.
Sorry.
I watched in one day. Netflix. I watched. I think I watched 10 episodes in one day. And loved it. And then I watched the last 3 on Saturday. It's so good. It's really, really good. I mean, I had a friend who posted on Facebook. He was like talking smack about a couple of the different elements, which we can get into without saying spoilers.
Well, what did he talk smack about?
Well, he said that the actor who plays Foggy Nelson is awful. And I don't think he's awful, but I don't think he's that good. And nobody's drunk, by the way. Nobody who was supposedly drunk on that show seemed in any way drunk at any point during the movie.
Okay.
And then Foggy's crying stuff was really false and blah blah blah. So that was, and he's great when he's just like being that affable guy. Great. He's great. Anything outside that requires any other sort of acting is not so great. So
I liked Foggy a lot.
He's a very friendly guy, but I mean, are you telling me he was in any way believable when he was crying and blah blah blah? I mean, when he was getting emotional, I didn't find it that.
Foggy a lot.
I'm just saying
he didn't. He wasn't.
He wasn't. But I mean, listen, there are definitely a gazillion more great points about the film.
Yeah.
and bad points. It's just, you know what I mean? To me, it's a game changer.
I want to make a joke that I've been waiting to make for ever since I finished watching the show. It's definitely, you know this one already too, Chad. I said it to you earlier. It's definitely the darkest thing Marvel's ever done in more ways than one. You get what I mean?
I get it.
Because
it's so funny.
Not only is it gritty and realistic and violent, but also at any given time during that show, 60% or more of the screen is black pixels.
This is true, and I had to shut up. I had to shut the blinds to watch it.
Be able to see because it's dark as shit.
It's very, very dark, but it's great. So shut your blinds when you're watching it.
I think the thing with Foggy is that it's as an actor, looking at him as an actor, yeah, he's done like everything, but it's his look. Like, he gets hired for his look. He got hired because he looks like that. Nobody else looks like him.
And
he's kind of got this weird face that looks like someone smushed it down, but then like stretched out his forehead. You know what I mean?
But he's also great at the really affable kind of. He's great at that. You know what I mean? And if I were casting for it, I don't know if I would have found a better choice for that particular role. And I think he's kind of pitch perfect for who Foggy Nelson is.
Yeah, if you look at him from the comics, like, even the look is just like, you know.
I just wish he was better. You know.
Sure, but you know.
And there's a couple of moments. And it's funny. It's easy to point out the bad stuff because there's so little of it. You know what I mean? But But like early on in the very first scene, this is so not a spoiler, but when they're first going to get the room, they meet the real estate agent. It's some of the worst exposition I've ever heard in a movie. the way they pull it off, though, the way that the actors pull it off, I think is great. But the writing at that particular moment is awful. The rest of it, the way that the story just it's so sort of, if you let yourself get into that world, it's really a game changer for the genre.
It is.
I mean, I read I can't remember if I've talked about this on a past maybe the last time we were on, but there was a quote from a review that it said it is what Arrow and the Flash wish they could be. You know what I mean? And it is true. It is true because you can get away with so much more on Netflix. But I'll tell you what, the key element that makes Netflix shows so fantastic, for the most part, I mean, not everything's fantastic, but a lot of it is.
Hemlock Grove.
Is that they don't give notes. They don't give notes.
Yeah.
They know what they're good at, and they know what their filmmakers are good at. And they don't try to step into, and I wish, because it's funny, because I was at a friend's birthday party last weekend, and one of the guys I met there, he's basically the guy who prepares the dailies for, I'm not going to say which company, I don't want to get him in trouble or whatever, but he is constantly in the middle of these notes. So he's seeing the notes based on the dailies, and he's like, what? These guys don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. And that is what it is to make films or even TV shows with network or with even the big studios, you know.
Yeah.
These idiots who know how to push, you know, pieces of paper around and know how to, you know, they think they understand filmmaking and they try to step in, and 9 times out of 10 they just ruin it. And that is, I think, what Netflix. I mean, it's such a small thing, but it is so crucial. You watch Kimmy Schmidt, and it is
it's adorable.
So funny.
I was just about to talk about it.
And so random. I mean, like the outro, the credits of the one where it was like the daddy's boy.
Yes.
I don't know.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
The credits. The credits are so funny.
it.
And if you watch that episode and you did not listen to the entire credits, you need to go back and listen to the end credits.
Yeah.
Because if you skipped it, you missed so many jokes. So freaking funny.
That's incredible. So what do you think? So I want to get, Chad, I want to get slightly more in depth. What did you think about Charlie?
Charlie Cox. I thought he was fantastic.
Right?
He was fantastic. But I mean, I've been a fan since Boardwalk Empire. I mean, he's a fantastic. He's great. I mean, he's a real actor, and he's charming and dangerous. He was perfect. You know, there were a couple of moments where his double was really obviously not him. Right. You know. But you know, it's gonna happen.
Fight scene Do you know what the one I'm talking about? In the hallway?
So many. Oh, in the hall. Oh, yes.
One uninterrupted shot?
Yeah, it was one, yeah. It was like,
Holy
that's the one.
fuck.
So good.
Holy
That's Netflix. Like, Netflix is killing it.
They're just
Yeah.
Killing it
unbelievable.
dead. House of Cards, Orange is the New Black, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. Like, I mean, it's just like
Hemlock Grove.
Now,
Hemlock Grove.
now, I brought this up, Chad. I brought this up in my YouTube video today.
I'm joking. I have not seen Hemlock
I
Grove,
haven't
but I
seen
know
Hemlock
that
Grove.
Garrett hates it, so that's why.
I watched one episode and I was like, I'm not introducing my wife to another Vampire Diaries. What did you think? Because I know the Kingpin, but I primarily know him as a Spider-Man villain because I never read the Daredevil comics and like got into the Daredevil lore. But Vincent
D'Onofrio. I thought he was good, and I thought it was the bummer that and this is because I'm super nitpicky as an actor's director. I felt like it was a little bit theoretical. I didn't think it really got into his but it was. Huh?
Theatrical or theoretical?
Theoretical. I thought that his character was here a little bit, and I thought that I thought it was interesting, and I think that there are a variety of tricks that the filmmakers did that made him look so threatening and incredible. But it was his performance. I found it never really got into him. I don't think, and I feel like if I were him, I would have put myself away for a couple of weeks before, because I think that he did an okay job, but D'Onofrio is such a good actor. He could have done so much better.
That's interesting.
And that was my point of view on it.
He was, I loved him. He was completely not what I was expecting for the Kingpin, because to me the Kingpin was, there was no vulnerability and he was from the comics, the Kingpin is almost too confident, and it's like okay, we get it, you're super badass, and then the good guy beats you again.
It's so genius that they created that for the show.
Yeah, and he's so I was just like, this is not the Kingpin I remember from the comics, but.
And the fact that you don't see him at all for so long. Yeah. You don't see him, you don't hear his voice, but once, you know what I mean, for a long time. It's really good. It's really well written. The execution's fantastic. Anyway, I'm happy. I couldn't be happier. And it helped me wash the Affleck out of my mouth, because that was just so bad.
Now, speaking of Affleck, I have to bring up the one thing that I was less thingy about. Now, I just want to preface this, Chad, so you don't get on me. Nobody wants to return to the Affleck leather pants days less than I do. But we talked about this a little bit before the show. I wasn't thrilled with the red costume. I was not disappointed, maybe, but I didn't feel that So what?
I don't think it's that important. I mean, to me, what's more important is the I just wasn't but I also saw it ahead of time. Netflix had kind of released it, shots of it early on, so it wasn't a big shock to me. I already knew what to expect, but and it was. I thought it was a modern, I thought it was fine. It didn't bother me. I didn't think it was, I don't really have an opinion about it either way, to be honest.
It felt to me like too armored and not street enough, it felt like something Captain America would wear because he's working with S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's got the backing of the government, and not, it felt too, I don't know. It felt too military to me, and less I would have preferred a costume a little closer to what Spider-Man had, because we all know Spider-Man didn't sew that costume. It's made out of latex, and it's got muscle bumps and all that sort of shit. But it felt like he could have. I can't
really answer that question more without giving some sort of spoiler, and I can tell you about it afterwards. But I thought it made sense. I thought it made sense.
And everything. Yeah.
Well, I have a question about. But do we think it's too? This is such a chick thing, but do we think it is too muted? The color?
No. It's not the color. It's the design of it.
But you look at the comics and they're red. red, 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 red. And you look at the actual the pictures of the or you look at the Netflix costume, and it looks a little muted and a little bit like meh.
Which is fine, but like because it's definitely not the color, because Affleck was in red, shiny, glistening, chrome red.
I'm not saying it needs to be shiny, glistening, chrome red, but potentially it needs to not be as muted. There's a specific color red.
Yeah, like honestly, yeah, I don't know how to describe my reaction when I saw it, but it just I expected to be grabbed and be like, oh shit, and I was just sort of like, oh, really? Okay, all right, fighting the thing, he's doing the thing, but regardless, God, it was such a good show, such a good show. Maybe I just felt too much in love with
Game of Thrones tonight.
Yeah, you should. Maybe I felt too much in love with the Dread Pirate Roberts look, because honestly, he looked pretty badass.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
The black outfit, Dread Pirate Roberts from The Princess
Bride.
He looked exactly like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
That's hilarious.
And that's what every time he would come on screen, I would be like, yeah, it's definitely the thing. It's actually from the Frank Miller graphic comic. Frank Miller did The Man Without Fear, and that was the exact outfit he was in, and it was him, like it was an alternate origin story or whatever the fuck it was. But God, it's just such a good show.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's really good. I'm going to go watch it right now. Okay, fine.
Okay.
So speaking of good things and good shows, I believe, Chad, you have some things to say about WMMFest that is coming up.
Yeah. Well, are we jumping into community news and whatnot?
Yeah, we should do we'll do community news and then things to know, yeah? Wait, where is WMMFest?
It's in community news, yes.
Okay, good. So we will jump into community news. We're getting towards the end of the show.
And for those of you who are actually listening, we're going to talk about Paul Walker next week, because I have some comments and some thoughts on appropriateness, but we'll...
Yeah, just make sure you talk to me first, because I'm friends with the family members, so anyway.
I think it's been,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, please go to iTunes, whether you listen to us on iTunes or you watch us live on YouTube. Please go to iTunes and rate the show. It helps other people find us, and it's awesome. It's great for discovery, and it just boosts our egos. Let's get honest. Like, that's why we really want.
My ego needs a boost.
Okay.
People are listening.
If you're listening on the audio feed, you really missed out there. I'm sorry for you. This week is the Writers' Workshop, the Something to Do on a Wednesday Night Until You Get Really Famous workshop. 7:30 p.m. The Theater Asylum in Hollywood. Come hear scripts read by the community. I have to get another script in, because now that Unsaid is done, we need to go make another movie.
Yeah.
Coming up
to know.
Yeah. This summer, WMMFest is coming. Chad, you want to tell people about that?
Yeah, so WMMFest is, submissions are open for right now. If you, it's our little mini film festival that we throw within the Hollywood Fringe Festival every year. If you want more information, just go to WMMFest.com. That's WMMFest.com. Submissions are open right now. If you are a member, and you have a film, but it doesn't necessarily fill all the requirements, don't worry about it. Just submit it anyway. It's free to submit. And if you want to know how to submit, go to wemakemovies.org/WMMFest, and you'll see all of the requirements and stuff, but feel free to ignore some. Just, it's free, so just send it. And it's going to be a lot of fun. If you are a member, you're going to get one free ticket. If you're a regular, you're going to get 2 free tickets. But there's 5 screenings, and if you want to bring some friends to them, you can also buy an all-festival pass. It's going to be $40 for an all-festival pass, but automatically regulars get 25% off everything, and regulars get 50% off everything, so it's going to be cheap. You can also volunteer. And if you want to, you can email, if you're interested in volunteering, email WMMFest@wemakemovies.org, and either I will get back to you or Eric Kochmer will get back to you and help sign that up. So anyway, it's exciting. It's a lot of fun. Get ready in June, because we have no workshops. It's all screenings in June. Okay? So that's all there is now, but keep your eye on the newsletter for more information on it, or go ahead and submit. WeMakeMovies.org/WMMFest.
And speaking of ways to get tickets and attend that and be part of the community, we, as we discussed earlier in the show, are a community completely supported by the community through patreon.com. So please go check our campaign out at patreon.com/WeMakeMovies. All group activities are funded through there. It pays for our events, the theater space, the snacks, the free wine, etc., etc. And if you become a patron, you get all kinds of bonuses. Like you get on, you can submit scripts and they get accepted faster, and you can get on the actor reading list, and it's all wonderful for people who are patrons. So you should go and check that out. Patreon.com/WeMakeMovies. And finally, we end with. Sorry?
Oh, sorry. And I do a special interpretive dance for all of you.
She does, apparently. I haven't seen the interpretive dance. What the hell? I'm a patron.
It's not in our perks.
Yeah.
Put that shit in the perks. Put that shit on there. We will become millionaires overnight. And every dollar, I remember what I was going to say. Every dollar over our production, over our.
Well, we're already there.
Expenses.
So basically, every dollar now contributed, 70 cents of every dollar is going to go straight into our fund. A rolling
which is going to fund actual movies made by the community, which is pretty fucking badass. Like, nobody else is doing that, guys.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
And we just voted, so the first thing we're doing is a short film, I believe,
Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
And submissions will open probably within the next 3 to 4 months for which short film. So get your short film ready. 7 pages or less, I think, is what we're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And there you have it.
All right, things to know. I will go first. On Friday, I released the film. Unsaid is out there. It is available. It is available to watch. You can go get it right now. It's at GarrettBRobinson.com/unsaid, and there is also a trailer, which I actually really like that trailer.
I really love it.
I think it's pretty cool, and so do the people who are in the trailer, which is the most important thing, and the people who watch the trailer, which is actually the most important thing. But yeah, go check it out. GarrettBRobinson.com/unsaid.
So that's me. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Daredevil. I don't know if we mentioned that yet this show, but watch it. It's fantastic. Also, there's a website that I've been using. It's not exactly on topic, but it's been really awesome for me for the past 6 months. I've been trying to lose some weight. I'm not even kidding, I was 30 pounds heavier 6 months ago. So dietbet.com is a really cool, it kind of helps you, it helps kind of turn it into a game. And it's also a game that you can actually win money at. So, and I've been paying $25 a month into DietBet for the past 6 months, and then just this past week I won. Every month I hit my target, and so I ended up getting $340 from that 150. So yeah, boy. Yeah, it wasn't 320. It was 320 actually. But yeah, so that was cool. Check it out. And I'm going to go another 6 months. At the end of April, I started a new one, going for another like 20, 25 pounds. We'll see what happens.
It's fantastic, Chad. You don't look a pound over 260.
You say the sweetest things.
He's an asshole. Sorry.
Oh, God. Yes, what Garrett said, unsaid.
Things you never say. People losing weight.
Wow.
You look fantastic, Chad. What are you talking about?
I was trying to just, distract, but whatever.
Well, you did. You probably shouldn't have led with what Garrett said. Those were the first words out of your mouth.
Yeah, no, not that. I think Chad looks fabulous. I meant what Garrett said.
I did too. And by the way,
talking about Unsaid, because I am very excited about Unsaid, and definitely download it because you get to see me cursing and being a cunt and smoking and. Yeah, basically drinking, and it's very exciting because that's not what I do always ever.
Yeah, totally. And I bet that would totally anger some rather orthodox people, conservative
people might hate that.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't enjoy it very much at all.
Well, so my thing to know is actually an interesting app. Chad. I recently went to Santa Barbara to see a friend do the Wild Party, the good Wild Party, the one that was off Broadway. She was fabulous. Her name is Rachel Short. She is the next star of the world. She played Queenie. Anyway, so I went to Santa Barbara and I needed a hotel, and I was like, crap, I don't know, but there's this app called Hotels Tonight.
Hotel Tonight.
Hotel Tonight, and you can. Was it hotel or hotels?
Hotel Tonight.
Hotel Tonight. That will and you will find it finds you a hotel, like wherever you are. You're like, find me.
Did I tell you about it?
No, you didn't. Someone else told me about it,
haven't.
actually.
I haven't used it.
But it's like a great app.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You love that app, but you haven't used it yet?
Well, I have it. I've been I check it out on occasion in town, like if I feel like having a quick staycation somewhere. But we're going to Hawaii. We're going to Hawaii in June, and I've planned it out where we're not getting a hotel the first 3 nights. The moment I land, I'm jumping on Hotel Tonight, and I'm going to get a room through Hotel Tonight. So that's the plan.
That's genius. I love it. Yeah. Great app.
Fantastic.
Anyway.
That reminded me, by the way, I am out of town next weekend, so we're actually kind of still working out what we're going to do, aren't we? Or are we just next?
We'll put it out on our Facebook channel. What we on our Facebook. What we're going to do. Check the calendar, wemakemovies.org/calendar, and you will see whether or not we have a show or what time, etc., what the details will be.
Yeah, just check it out. Stay up and on it, as it were.
Word.
Awesome. All right, with that, I will bring this episode of the We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast to a close. Thank you, everybody who watched live. We always appreciate you guys coming.
Thank you, Miss Stone.
Miss Esther Stone. I brought her. She's my audience member. I'm Garrett Robinson. You can find me at garrettbrobinson.com. Chad is at superfreako.com, and Michelle is on Twitter at mlucadoo. We're all online at wemakemovies.org. We'll see you soon. Bye.